If you like sewing, like me, stick around. Hi, my name is Agatha. Welcome in Agatha's cottage. It's time for catch-up video. I haven't been here for a few weeks. Life happened. As you might know, it's summer break here in Ireland and kids are off from school. Life is busy and I didn't have time to record. I had few things to share, but just life got in the way of actual recording and finding time for editing. The last time we spoke, I was getting ready to attend Sewing Social at my local store, SoSew in Naas, and I was also preparing for the SoSew Social Club Night Out. Both events were fab. I had great fun. I felt fabulous for the night out. There was actually a funny story. It was the hottest day of the year. It was 31 degrees. And I had normal errands to run. Ice has to be dropped off to her activities, etc. I started getting ready, had the shower, and we got the notification that due to low levels of water in the local reservoir, there will be water will be cut off at 5 p.m. By the way, it was already 6 p.m. when we got the message. So I was running like headless chicken, turning off the washing machine and the dishwasher, and making sure that everyone who needs quick shower had the chance for a quick shower. Filled up the bottles for the pets, etc., etc. And I started getting ready for the night out. We were meeting at 7, and I thought, okay, I have half an hour to just do my makeup. Turn out, when you are trying to do makeup that has um, a lot of cream based stuff, you need to wash your hands often, which is not that easy when there is no water. But I finally managed to get through. I dolled up and I shoot out of the door, bag and everything, and I'm driving. I got to the spot, I parked the car, I opened my bag to see if my shoes are there because I wouldn't drive in high heels, and they are not there. Turn out Alice and I had slight miscommunication when I asked her to put the shoes to my bag. So she put the box with the shoes under the bag so I can take everything, and I thought that she just put the shoes inside the bag. So I had to drive back because without the red high heels, the whole outfit didn't make sense. Luckily, it's just 20 minutes drive one way, but yeah, I drove a lot. And our car is old car, doesn't have the aircon, normally doesn't need it. But the few days a year when it does, I do miss it. So by the time I got to the restaurant when we were meeting, I was almost an hour late for the event. Girls were still there, and it was fun. It was so much fun. I was roasting. I felt like someone put me in the oven, and on top of all the heat wave, etc. Perimenopause decided to come with hot flashes, but it didn't change the fact that I enjoyed myself immensely. As always, girls were extremely welcoming. All the outfits were fabulous, absolutely fabulous. I couldn't stop admiring the skill, the thought, the whole invention that went into the outfits. There was no two identical dresses or even remotely similar outfits. Everything was perfect. Sewing wise, what I have been up to, I haven't sewn much. During a heat wave we had in so that was second week of July, like mid of first week to mid of second week. My sewing space was so hot I wasn't able to sew. So my sewing space is in our bedroom. We live in converted cottage. Therefore, all the slanted walls you see, that's the part of former attic. And our room heats up so much that some days in the afternoon there was 28 degrees here. I just couldn't cope. Hot flashes and heat wave are not good combination. So during sewing social, I did a top. I started with New Look 6216. This was totally unplanned make. I just cut it out in evening before sewing social and I decided to sew it on a day. It was hot and I wasn't in the mood for doing anything um I would say involved. I wanted something that will let my creative juices going. So I started with New Look 6216 and I hacked it. If you watch my pattern hackathon video, you know that New Look 6216 is one of my go-to patterns for easy hacks. And this hack is no different whatsoever. What I started first was raising the neckline tiny bit. I shortened the hem by 1 inch and then I did a peekaboo, like scoop shoulders. I will pop the picture here. I wore this top yesterday when we went bowling, and I absolutely love the cold shoulder effect on this top. So how I did it? That will be the easiest to explain. So on the shoulder, on the shoulder seam, I removed seam allowance, so it's 5/8 of an inch if I remember correctly, or 3/8 of an inch. I don't remember exactly, but I will remove the seam allowance that was marked on the pattern all way around the shoulder except for where the shoulders were connecting at the neckline and where the shoulders were connecting at the end of the sleeve, at the end of the shoulder. Then I took a French curve and I just gently scoop the front and slightly less the back of the shoulder. Just mild scoop. So just to give it kind of like a teardrop effect. And that was enough. I think I overall in the deepest place I removed 1/2 inch, and in the shortest it was 1/8 of an inch. So basically very mild scoop, and I did it on one side and then I copied it to the other side. Then when applying the bias tape, I did one shoulder seam first and then the other shoulder seam the second. I connected them at the neckline and at the shoulder, so it's just easier to tie the bow, and in case if it untie, it's not a big deal, your top is still connected. Then I applied the bias binding on the neckline and I absolutely love it. I got this fabric during our trip to Poland in February and I'm extremely happy with how it turned out. The second thing that I started but didn't finish during sewing social was this dress for Project Dress a Girl. As you know, I love sewing dresses for Project Dress a Girl. September is approaching. Mari is looking for volunteers to do the vlogger tour. So if you are a vlogger and you are interested in doing vlog for Project Dress a Girl, please contact her directly. I will leave link to her channel down below. So this is pattern by Alisa Thoughtful Creativity and I absolutely love using this pattern. I use fabrics that I had from various Irish shops. So it's basically representation of, I think, 4 different Irish shops. So the middle part, the cherry part, comes from Love Fabric Ireland. The red comes from Ecobee Fabrics. The red polka dots is from I think it was Apple Wood Fabrics. They were in County Wicklow. They are closed down for a while now, but I still had some of that fabric in my stash. And the bias binding with the navy gingham is from my local SoSew in Naas. I absolutely love how darling this dress turned out, and I did little bow at the end to connect here both sides of the dress. The last fully finished make is Alice's birthday dress. So here it is. I had to hack it a bit. So I started by doing a bodice in one of the fabrics I got from Rainbow Fabrics. So I started by doing bodice in this fabric. I knew this pattern, so it's a tempo dress by Love Notions, the kids version. I knew this pattern would be suitable for Project Dress a Girl, and Alice and I agreed that I will do size 14 and I will test on her whatever it's accurate, measurements, etc., etc., for a slim girl. So I did the bodice because I didn't have time to do anything else. So I just did the bodice, and the first thing I noticed that the straps were slightly bit loose. So instead of making them shorter, because I don't know what will be the size of the girl who will be wearing the dress, I thought that it would be more size flexible if I will add a bit of elastic. So I added thick elastic to the straps, and I did the same thing on version for Alice. The dress comes with the facing for the front and for the back. So here is the facing for the front, and there's a facing for the side of the back. And don't worry about the seams, everything will be nicely finished. And when Alice tried it on, she told me, Mommy, it's ending in very awkward spot for growing girl. Therefore, we decided to extend the lining, like the facing, do it as a lining. So what I did, I extended the facing into almost lining, so it's like finishing 2 inches above the waist. I added very thick elastic all around. I also did small tuck-in stitches on the side seams, so the facing is not raising up every time when you take off and put on the dress. And I think that will make it more comfortable. I will do that with the next version of that dress for Project Dress a Girl. It's very fun pattern to make. It is time consuming, uh, but taking into account that I was applying all the changes, etc., it did take a while, definitely more than a simple dress for um, using Alisa's pattern, but I had enormous fun making it. Of course, I wouldn't be myself if I wouldn't slightly hack the dress. So instead of leaving the front straight, I just gather it a little bit and added tiny little bow. I changed the way I put the pockets in the side seam. So the pattern asks you to put the attach the each pocket, one to the front, like front side of the pocket to the front side of the skirt, back part of the pocket to the back part of the skirt, and then sew it together. I really don't like this way of attaching pockets, so I use Alisa's from Thoughtful Creativity tutorial, how to attach inseam pocket. So the only thing you see is just a tiny little top stitching here, but it's basically invisible with the busy print, and it makes the pocket stay in place a little bit better than attaching it to the back first and then combining it together. I did the dress. I decided to finish with the bias binding. I put the bias binding on the bottom just to give the skirt a little bit more fullness. Alice come back from her scouts camp, tried the dress on, and dress is 2 inches too short. It's just it wouldn't hit her in a spot that she's comfortable with. And it's my fault. It's totally my fault. I forgot that Alice's legs are the length of an adult legs. She has relatively shorter torso versus her legs. And even though I did extend the skirt part to size 16, I did size 14. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough. So I had to unpick the hem. So that means 2 rows of stitches. Took me 2 evenings. but I unpicked it and we decided to extend it a little bit. We decided to add a border in the black cotton I had in my stash, and I was looking for something in between. We thought for a bit about big white rig rag that I had in my stash, but it wasn't it. And then we thought, what about if we tie it with the red, like in the bow? So that's what we did. I went to SoSew in Nace and I picked a dark red uh, bias binding, and of course it wouldn't be um, without adventures, because I ironed it in half, so I removed the actual binding part, and I decided to trim 1/4 of an inch from the binding when it's folded in half, just so it's not too big. And I did it on the front because I was attaching the front and the back separately. And I forgot to do it for the back. So of course I did for the back, I attached it and etc. And then I was like, why it's not lining up? Why there's 1/4 of an inch difference? So I had to unpick the bottom of the back again. But it's done, it's finished, and I absolutely love how it turned out. I actually need to get Alice to try the dress on so I can enter it to the pattern hackathon and I can show you the picture. I do think she loves it. She was trying it on and she told me it's very comfortable. So I'm glad she liked it. The fabric I got was from Love Fabric Ireland, and it's quilting cotton. I used 2 meters and I have a little bit left. And in this fabric, I'm doing pencil case for Alice. Of course, she doesn't want a simple pencil case. We found perfect one that would be great for secondary school, but that requires a lot of work. So mommy will be busy over next few afternoons, but I cannot wait to have it finished. But I absolutely love that dress and I hope she will be happy wearing it. Because of the added length, because of the panel with elasticated back, she will get at least 1 more year of wear out of this dress, and she can always wear it with a white t-shirt underneath and leggings, even during autumn time. Now, what I'm working on, I started working on the dress that I wanted to do the hack of for pattern hackathon. So I did the trial version as a top in one of the fabrics that I originally picked for show April blouse. I didn't use it, so I thought that it would be great to trial it as a top. So it will be halter neck dress, and I was originally planning to make it in the poppy fabric I got from SoSew in Nace. However, no matter how I lay the pattern pieces, I'm not getting enough length on the grain, and the pattern is slightly directional, so I do need to stick to the on the grain. Therefore, I decided to use different fabric from my stash. I will find something else for the poppy fabric. But that's the my wearable toile, that will be wearable toile top, but I need to apply a lot of changes to it, and I'm not entirely happy with the how it's finishing, so I will be redoing a lot of things from it. So that's waiting for unpicking, and it will be something that I will be working on over next few days. Hopefully I will get the chance to wear it this summer. Apparently we are in for another heat wave, but it takes time to unpick this fabric because it's silky and it's very soft, very flimsy, and you can see every hole if it's not picked delicately and correctly. So it's very slow process. But I know what changes needs to be applied to my pattern, my hacked patterns. So I decided to combine 2 patterns. One of them calls one of my new look patterns. I don't remember the numbers, but I will put the pictures somewhere here. So I'm combining them both to create the perfect dress. Whatever, I will have a chance to finish it before the deadline for entry for pattern hackathon. Very unlikely because I have a lot of live stuff this week, but I will get to that in the live portion. The second project I'm working on is to finish the dress for Project Dress a Girl. So it will be the tempo dress by Love Notions, the kids version. As I mentioned, I did the bodice as a trial for Alice's uh, birthday dress, and I will just finish the dress and use it for Project Dress a Girl. And I'm working on Alice's pencil case. I have it cut out and I have it partially sewn, so that will be my project probably for tomorrow afternoon. The other things I will be working on are PJs for my friend's son in a special fabric that I got him from Ecobee. I will do separate fabric haul video because I did got some fabrics from various shops that arrived in last few weeks, and I went to Carlo Fabrics with girls yesterday, therefore I do have a lot to share and it would make this video extremely long. Now, life update. Let me think. As I mentioned, I went with girls to Carlo Fabric. We had fabulous time yesterday, and of course we all got some fabrics. My favorite part of each trip, except for actually going actual fabrics shopping, is our show and tell we do during our lunch. So we go after shopping for lunch, cake or tea, coffee, whatever anyone is fancy, and then we take time, we show all the fabrics we pick. Even though we do help each other while picking the fabrics, it's different when you can actually show the fabric, you tell your plans, and you look for suggestions. And I got some lovely pattern suggestions yesterday, so I cannot wait to actually get few new patterns from the suggestions girls did yesterday. And I absolutely love going to Carlo Fabrics. Catherine is fabulous and it's always great fun. Other life updates. So we have a bit situation with Ripper, my elderly cat. So he is not well. He hurt his foot somehow, and now he needs to wear a cone. I actually had to make a separate cone on top of his cone to make sure that he is not reaching for it. Unfortunately, his legs are so long. He is like he has the big cone, and I did the smaller cone just to keep the big cone in place, and he still can reach his toes. So we are basically guarding him 24/7, which puts a toll on everyone, especially on me, because he's mommy's boy. So yeah, we do spend a lot of time uh, walking corridors during the night with him in my arms because he wants to scratch his paw and he can't, so he's unhappy. But vet is optimistic slightly, and we do hope it's not something very serious. We do hope it's just an infection, not a tumor. So please keep your fingers crossed and that he will be okay. Other than that, I have car service this week, and I have some tests, medical tests done on me. They are just routine stuff. Joys of having a few chronic illnesses that you do need to go for tests regularly. So I might not be able to sew that much this week because I will be out and about a lot. And as I mentioned, care of Ripper takes a lot of time. So that's basically all the updates from me. As I mentioned, I will do separate fabric haul because I do have fabrics from various shops and I wanted to share them with you. Uh, what else? My dear friend Tiffany, Hosier Handmade, is back on YouTube, so go check her out and say hi. She had a little bit of break and she's back recording, and I'm glad to see her. To be honest, I was recently considering going on extended break myself, partially because uh, I was I wasn't feeling I'm adding value to the overall, you know, the internet space, and that I didn't feel that my videos are bringing anyone joy. But one of my friends yesterday, Benita, she told me that my videos make her happy, and it made me realize that I might not get as many views, as many subscribers as other YouTubers, but as long as there is one person for whom my videos are important, that's good enough for me. And I do love making them. They are time consuming. I won't gonna lie, they are time consuming because sometimes I will record the same part of the message three, four, five, 9 times, depends on the day. Editing does take a lot. And funny thing, um, we were chatting about this yesterday. So the girls were like, "Oh, I wouldn't be able to talk to myself, see myself on the camera." So I don't see myself on the camera. I'm using my phone to record, and I'm using my phone the way that I can see the lenses of the camera, but I don't see the screen. So all the funny faces, etc., etc., is just me talking normally, me being me. Um, I know I'm not everyone's cup of tea. Uh, so it's not per purpose. I just don't see the faces I'm doing. And to be honest, when I'm editing, half of the time it's like, oh my God, I'm so awkward. No, like, why? Why? Alice is always laughing when I have moments like that when I'm editing, because she's like, but why you're complaining? It's not that bad. It could be more cringe. Okay. Thanks for the vote of confidence, child. That's all from me for today. I wonder, what do you have been up to? Are you gardening, sewing, spending time with your family, or maybe you have vacation plans? I'm very curious of what you are doing. Thank you for watching, and don't forget, clean your sewing machine and change your needle. Happy sewing. Bye.